Avril Lavigne may have made her mainstream debut with her album Let Go in 2002, but this actually wasn't the first official project created by the pop rock queen. In 2001, her label, Arista Records, sent her to Network Music Group to create a promotional sampler that would show off what her music and general image would be like. At Network, she worked with songwriter Cliff Magnus and production team The Matrix, who ended up doing a lot of the production on Let Go. The result was a 17-song promotional album called B-Sides, which was released in December 2001, about 6 months before Let Go. Given how it was a promo CD filled with rough, unpolished demos meant for her actual debut album, B-Sides wasn't given a widely commercial release. I couldn't find any information online as to who exactly the CD was given to, though if I had to guess, I'd say it was probably passed around internally at Arista Records, and maybe given out to certain industry people to start making noise for Avril's career. Either way, all the songs from the project have leaked, and they're extremely fascinating to listen to, since they mark the earliest studio recordings we have of Avril. B-Sides is like Let Go's more intimate, less filtered older sister. The seeds of Avril's snarky, in-your-face attitude were planted here, on songs like You Never Satisfy Me and Make Up, as well as her more tender side, on songs like Falling Into History and Let Go. There's some really great stuff on here that never ended up on her debut, and while I do like that album better and think it's perfect as is, some of these songs could have made great additions. Headset is one I'll find myself humming along to for hours after I've listened to it. Not the Only One is a banger that would totally go off live, and Get Over It is a wonderfully dramatic track that wouldn't sound out of place on her second album, Under My Skin. Confusingly, the song Let Go wasn't included on the album Let Go, and that's a shame because it's a genuinely touching ballad that would have fit in perfectly. It's one of my favorite Avril deep cuts. She sounds so beautiful on it, and it's a great track to cry to, with its lyrics about moving on from a past relationship. Speaking of, another one of my favorites is Move Your Little Self On. This track is so early 2000s pop rock. It sounds like something Hilary Duff would have sang at the time, and that's one of the highest possible compliments I could give to anything. Another one of my favorites is Stay, Be the One, which is wicked catchy, and again would be really fun to hear live. While most of the songs from B-Sides didn't make it to Let Go, some of them did, including Things I'll Never Say and Why, which was a Japanese bonus track. The songs I Don't Give and Get Over It were both released as B-Sides to Complicated and Skater Boy respectively, while remastered versions of the songs Falling Down and Make Up were included on the 20th anniversary re-release of Let Go. B-Sides is probably the most obscure Avril Lavigne project, only being known by die-hard fans. Given how it was only available to certain people, I'm curious to know how much a physical copy of this would go for nowadays. That is, if anyone even has it still. Promotional and demo CDs like this are very common, so I can imagine the people who got this probably lost it in the shuffle of other demo CDs. That's what makes this album so intriguing to me. This was the first complete body of work Avril ever made with the backing of a record label, but outside of die-hard fans, no one really knows about it. The thought of a physical copy just sitting in someone's house collecting dust is also kinda sad to me. This is a piece of music history, the precursor to the Avril Lavigne we know and love today, and even though it doesn't stack up to her other albums quality-wise, it's still a really good listen for lovers of this genre. While it does sound a little rough, I actually think that gives it a charm none of her other albums really have. There's something about the lack of polish that makes B-Sides sound refreshingly grounded and authentic. That's not to say her other albums aren't authentically her, or Melissa, but B-Sides has a certain down-to-earth quality to it. It reminds me a lot of Blink-182's early demo tape, Buddha, since that album is also pretty minimally produced, but that's why it's so endearing. If you're a lover of early 2000s pop rock music, especially from Avril, or other acts like Michelle Branch and Ashlee Simpson, you should totally seek this one out, and see what things were like before they got so complicated.